Hi, I'm Clate Mask, and on the Conquer the Chaos podcast, I talk with inspiring business owners about what it takes to build a great business and a great life. That means more money, more time, more control, more impact, more freedom. So keep listening to hear the tough lessons they learned so you don't have to repeat them. Welcome, everyone, to this episode of the Conquer the Chaos podcast. I am your host, Clate Mask, author of Conquer the Chaos. And I am here today with a longtime friend, somebody that's going to bring a lot of value. Really excited to talk with him. A friend that has been a partner in our company that we started for years and years and years, and a real seasoned veteran in the art of sales. In fact, he goes by the Sales Whisperer. And I'll give you the full intro in just a second. But let me just say, Wes Schaeffer, welcome to the Conquer the Chaos podcast.
Clate, thanks for having me. I don't know what got into you, but you take me on at your own risk, okay?
Hey, you have license to say whatever you want. Wes, we go way back. Gosh, when did you start working with our product at Infusionsoft?
2008.
2008. Amazing. And just let me give the audience your short bio because it's fun. And then you can maybe fill in little blanks and tell a little more about kind of what you've done. Then we'll jump into it. So Wes Schaeffer is the Sales Whisperer. He sees the message you want to convey but can't find the words and gives them to you because if you don't toot your own horn, there is no music. He's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and the president of his HOA. So mow your lawn and pay attention to what this Air Force veteran, father of 7 and grandfather of 4 has to say. He's written a couple of books, spoken around the world, published over 800 podcasts, and was once duct taped to a bar in Korea, which we may or may not talk about. So Wes, welcome. Great to have you here.
Hey, thanks for having me. But I was never duct taped to a bar at any events that you hosted. So I'll clear you on that one. All right.
Yes, I do remember the robes and the cigars and some good events, fun memories, my friend. By the way, congrats on 4 grandkids. We've that is better than advertised, isn't it?
Dude, it's pretty cool, and they're both the families. We live right in the middle, so like 10, 12 minutes, man. We can get to either of them. They come here a lot, so yeah, it's cool.
Congrats, amazing. We've got 7 and our 8th on the way, and only 3 of them are here, though. We have the others that are out of state. So
yeah, that's tough.
We find ourselves trying to get there as much as we can.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's jump into this. You are a master at sales. You know the art of follow-up, and you probably have embodied the principle that the fortune is in the follow-up as well as anybody. But we're going to talk a little bit about how you help people get to where they're selling effectively. Now, our friend Jennifer Oraqua on the last episode, we talked more about the marketing side of it, but I want to talk more with you about the sales side of it. When people are bashful or uncomfortable, I always remember the old Zig Ziglar saying that timid salespeople have skinny children.
Yep, it's true, huh?
But you probably are as good as anybody I know at helping people get over those issues, get over those things that hold them back, that prevent them from having the success, the impact that they want in their business. So that's what I really want to dig into today, of how you do that. As a sales whisperer, how do you get people to see that and get past it so that they don't hold themselves back from the success and the impact that they want to have, but sometimes just take themselves out. So why don't we start with, when you say, when you're trying to teach, when you say you're the sales whisperer and you're trying to teach people the art of sales, where do you start with them to get past that mental block they might have?
Here's where we start. All right, we're gonna do a card game. We're gonna do I can read your mind. I can hear. I know what you're gonna say. We haven't planned this out, right?
We have not.
Okay.
I'm a little nervous.
Don't be nervous. You're in good hands.
All right.
So I especially when I'm speaking and in groups, whatever, but I say, when I say the word salesman, salesperson, give me some adjectives. What comes to mind? So what comes to mind for you, Clate?
Success.
No, don't be the optimistic, happy. What do typical people say?
You want me to? Okay, what typical people say? They will say,
give me some adjectives.
Slick, slimy, used car,
Yep.
Um,
Come on. It's written right here. It's written. You remember Johnny Carson? It's written right here.
let's see. Snake oil.
You're on the right track, right? So usually
pushy. Yes.
Pushy always comes up. All these negative words, right? And so I use this so much. It's written. It's sitting on my desk.
Good for you. I should have gotten it.
But I mean, the idea is negative. High pressure, greedy, commission breath. Pushy, arrogant, conceited, self-centered. It's like, it's so bad. And so that's the typical connotation. And that's why we have so many people, in business. So I'm an account executive. I'm a business developer, evangelist of success. I'm like, oh, you're in sales.
Yeah.
And so we have to get over that, because we have to understand the true profession of sales is to serve. It's to help. It's to help the other person. Yes, they hand over $100 or $100,000. I mean, I did when I was in high tech. I did $1 million with Google. That was 15 years ago. They probably still have that equipment that I sold them, and I guarantee you, I have spent the commission I earned from that deal.
Yes.
Okay, so when you are engaging with prospects, with humans, and I think we forget there's humans on the other end of these cameras, on the other end of these computer screens. Even though AI is blurring the lines, there's humans on the other end. And so if we are truly seeking to serve, and we want to help them get better, improve their situation as a result of doing a transaction with us, then we should not feel bad about getting paid, getting compensated to help somebody improve their lives.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, but now there is a fine line between persuasion and manipulation.
Yeah.
Okay. So if what I'm convincing you to do is for my own good, then that's manipulation.
Yeah.
Okay. If I'm helping you get to the root cause, see the issue, understand the ramifications, and invest in fixing things before they get worse, then that's persuasion.
Yeah.
So we just have to understand that. And when we understand people and we understand, okay, all these others, that we're all being pounded and lied to and pressured, so our defenses are up.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, salesperson, I got to lie to them because I don't want to lie, but anything I say can and will be used against me.
Yep.
And so we have to understand that. We have to address it. But I tell all of my clients, it's like, because they all say, well, Clate, once I get in front of a qualified prospect, and I'm really good. And I'm like, well, fool, what is your job as a salesperson? Just to get in front of the qualified prospect. Yes. And so our number one job in sales is to prospect. Now we've gotten lazy, right? We've gotten multiple layers between the salesperson and the prospect. We got marketers, we got the marketing department, we got BDRs, we got SDRs, we got SMEs, and blah, blah, blah. Like, let me talk to a salesperson.
Yeah.
Okay. And so they've gotten fat, dumb, and lazy. They've gotten entitled. And so if we can get a true salesperson that understands the pain, can ask the questions, because look, at the end of the day, nobody ever changes their mind about anything. Okay? What we do is come to a new conclusion once we understand all of the finer points and the details and the nuances. So and it's like I was presented, like we see it in politics. It's rare, but, you'll see somebody change a position. Oh, they flip-flopped. And a lot of them do flip-flop. But sometimes they are sincere. It's like, I now understand the depth of this issue, be it taxes or defense or whatever. It's like, I'm changing my vote. Okay, I can get behind that.
Yeah.
So did they change their mind, or did they come to a new understanding? Were they enlightened, right? Were they educated? And so that's our job in sales, right? And so if I can help people understand that, then they just like, oh yeah, I don't mind sales.
Okay, I love this. There's a couple things I want to dig in on because, the mindset that we have. Let's start with that pushy mindset that you call out, and the way that it puts up our defense mechanisms. And we're all human, and we all do that. I just bought a car, and I just went through this process of talking to a couple of different dealerships, and going, and I remember talking, I was talking to Sharice, and I have some of those, like, well, I don't know if I can trust this guy and what he's saying, and so it's real. We're not going to just change what is real in people's minds. But you said something that when I think about business owners, entrepreneurs, and what they bring to the table in their mindset around sales, you said something that I think in their heart, they know it's true, but yet it doesn't make its way to their concept around sales. And what that is in their heart, they know that it's true, that they are serving better when they sell better. Like, I have a solution. I want more people to get that solution. The only way I can get more people to have that solution and to have the impact that I want as an entrepreneur is to sell, is to have, so when this trite line of selling is serving, we like to, throw that around, but people, I don't think, actually believe it and slow down enough to realize,
they don't.
Well, yeah, it really is true. I can't serve if I don't sell. And selling is the process of finding out, is there a way I can improve this person's life or business or what, by them getting the thing that I offer. And so I know there's genuineness and realness to the phrase selling is serving. I know there is. I've experienced it. We've all experienced it. But I also know that a lot of people dismiss that phrase of selling is serving as quickly as they say, oh, it's pushy, it's blah, 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 blah. And yet they're the same people who say, gosh, I want to have more impact. I just wish I could get my solution to more people. Yeah. And so I love that you're breaking it down that way. I know it's true. I know a lot of our audience hears it and says, yeah, it's true. But yet we still have these like decades-long, lifelong barriers that we put up, or, constructs we put around sales. And so I love the way you're breaking it down and helping people see, well, no, it's really just, you're not changing their mind. You're helping them see new facts, new evidence, new information that would help them come to a more enlightened conclusion. Yeah. And that enlightened conclusion is going to show them how they can improve their life with the thing that you offer. And when you do that, now the nobility of sales starts to look like the nobility of a doctor or somebody that's providing something that changes people's lives.
Yeah.
And yet we do not embrace sales that way.
Well, we do once we understand it, right?
Yeah.
Once I get my hands on my clients, right? That's why I had to learn jujitsu. I'm gonna choke this into you one way or another. You're gonna. But so like right now, my wife wanted a new faucet, right? So my wife gets a new faucet.
Yes, she does.
She's like, oh, ours is scraped and whatever. I'm like,
right.
I'm like, what? I go, oh, damn, yeah, I guess it is scraped. I don't notice this stuff, man. I still drink out of the hose, But anyway, so we've got a guy, young guy. He's a golf pro, but he's also a plumber. So he's very affordable, but he's a little slow sometimes because he's a better golfer than a plumber, but he's a better plumber than me.
There you go.
So he puts in this faucet. This week, right? The next day, there's a leak under the sink. And he says, well, I didn't touch that part of the sink. And I'm like, we've lived in this house 15 and a half years. We've never had a leak. The day after you crawl up under my sink, I have a leak. It's probably something you did. Okay? Yeah. Now, we just so happen, my wife is the successor trustee of a family friend handling their estate. So she just remodeled their home to sell it. And they put in new sink and counters. And the same thing happened in removing, because both homes are about the same age, 20, 22 years old, somewhere in that range, right? 22, 24 years old. Yeah. So the fixtures, the cutoff valves are old, and they're an older style. Mm-hmm. And just from that age, both of them leaked. And both of them were simple fixes. We caught it. Okay, nope, no problem. As a salesperson, right, if he was a salesperson, he talked about and showed us the new gear, the new technology. 2+ decades, okay, yeah. They improved.
Yeah.
He should have said, I'm happy to fix your sink. Thank you for calling me back a second time. I'm looking here. May I ask, how old is this home? Oh, man, 24 years old. Are you the original? No, we've been here 15 years. Okay, let me show you something. Have a chart, have a link on your phone. Say, here's the situation. Okay, I'm gonna swap this out for whatever, $75. Okay, but what I'm seeing, this gear is this old and this age, and this tends to happen, 30, 40, 50% of the time, 60% of the time, 100% of the time, this stuff fails within 2 years after you adjust it.
Yeah.
For an extra $75, whatever, I can replace them, no pressure. But if the question is always, would you do this at your mom's house? Would you do this for your grandmother? Mm-hmm. Right? Like, if my mom asked me to do this, this is what I'd recommend. Like, you know what? Okay. Knock yourself out. I mean, because we're not talking big bucks here. This isn't replumbing. Like, my mom is in an old house, $21,000 to oh my gosh, but everything was rotted out. So it's a small thing, right? And so would that have been a sale? So we got the work done anyway. Just a day later, after dealing with luckily was a small leak.
Yeah.
So you got to get it through your head. That is not a sale. Right? That is servicing. That is preventing something. It could have been bad, right? We could have left town.
Right.
It's summer. We could have left for a week, 2 weeks. My wife, actually, they didn't hear it. She was doing some other work in the other part of the house, and I came over just coincidentally because they're just a mile away. I just popped in, see how they're doing. I'm like, hey, what's that? What's the leak? What's the drip? What do you mean, what's the drip? She's in the front of the house. I go to the back, just walking around, checking things out. I'm like, there's a leak.
Yeah. They
didn't hear it, and it had already pulled up. So same thing. She could have wrapped up and just gone out the garage.
Yeah.
And then 24 hours go by. So is that a sale? I don't think that's a sale, right? And so you've got to believe it in your pores, in your soul, in your being. Like, I am helping out these people.
Yes.
And they pay me. They thought they were going to pay $75. Now they pay $375.
Right.
Oh, what a ripoff. Is it? So, and again, it's not his doing. That's him educating me on reality.
Yeah.
And like, here's $500, right? Just, I don't want to leak. And are you going to do this? And, and it wasn't that much, right? But we need to understand that. We need to understand the value that we bring, show people why it benefits them. And it gets much easier.
Yeah.
For everybody.
And truly, like you said, truly believing in our pores, like deep in your bones, that you are improving people's lives. And when you have something that they need and you're not selling effectively, you're hurting them. You're actually hurting your company. You're hurting them because you're not sparing them of some pain or enabling them to take advantage of an opportunity. You're actually doing a disservice to everybody. Yeah. When you don't sell. And I appreciate that, and I appreciate you like talking about how you present information. But there's also a side of it where I learned this early on. My dad had experience in sales, and I was struggling early on in the company. I've told this story before, but I thought I was selling, and he said, "No, you're not. You're just presenting information." So there is a part of presenting information that is true and necessary in sales, but it's not the same as selling. So where does that go from presenting information to completing the sales process and actually, doing the part that I wasn't doing in those early days that just about killed our company, and there never would have been an Infusionsoft or a Keep and everything that happened because I was presenting information and kind of leaving it at that. So maybe talk a little bit about where that, presenting information and selling, maybe the ABCs of selling, help us kind of get the full picture.
Do not want or need information. Okay. And I know that sounds crazy, but I've always said our goal in sales is to ask questions that the prospect cannot answer. Okay. Because, and especially now with social media or with ChatGPT and AI, blah, blah, blah. I mean, you got the answer at your fingertips.
Yeah.
And so really with the internet, the role of salespeople changed with the internet because we could find out a lot of things, like your car buying experience. You found the price of that car. You found the MSRP. You found potential discounts and what are they offering and holdbacks and whatever. So the role of the salesperson with the internet changed. Now with AI, it is changing. So we're more of a reassuring factor now. Mm-hmm. Now, I'll kind of lump the internet and AI together. Before that, people wouldn't buy because they didn't have enough information. Now they don't buy because they're overwhelmed with the information. Okay? And so our job is to ask questions that they can't answer. And so, well, Clate, how long has this been a problem? Who else besides you cares? What's the financial impact of the company, this quarter, this year? How is this going to impact your ability to reach your goals? You're going to do this, that, and the other. Okay. Do you need, e-commerce? Okay. How will this conflict with your ERP? Are you in compliance? Is security an issue? Have you thought about blah, blah, blah? And we haven't thought about that at all. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. Can you help? When you ask a question that they can't answer, they assume you have the answer. Now, you better have the answer. Okay. But I'm assuming you do, right? I equate it, to like medical, oh, my shoulder hurts, or let me go to a chiropractor, let me, get some icy hot, and let me tape it, and I need to hang upside down, and eventually I'm like, okay, it's not any better. I go to the doctor. Do you have arthritis? Do you have any issue? Oh, you do jujitsu. Oh, did you fall? Yeah, okay. So now we go through the things like, yeah, but it's not this, that, or the other. Well, let's run some tests. Right? And so how that doctor diagnoses, the steps he follows, that bedside, literally the bedside manner, is what builds trust. Mm-hmm. I'm more likely to accept the diagnosis if I think they followed a thorough process to diagnose. Yep. But men are terrible with this, especially. You're married, right? Your wife ever come to you, Clate, I just need to vent. Don't try to solve it, right? We want to solve the problem,
Yes,
right?
I do.
Well, Becky, she's always like, you know what? You should choke Becky. You should take jiu-jitsu and choke. No, I can't. But anyway, so sometimes men, we want to jump in and solve the problem. Salespeople, oh, I know what you need. You need the pro version with 10,000 contacts. You need SMS integration. We're going to plug in Zapier, and we're going to get this. And we're going to connect the customer hub. You need a membership site. And you're like, I just said hello.
Yeah, right.
We got to let it simmer for a bit. Say, I'm looking to scale my business. What does that mean, scale? Don't assume anything. Mm-hmm. Oh, you want to go from 1 to 2 people. Oh, you want to go from 100 to 200 people. Oh, you want to go from 1 million to 100 million. Okay, hey, that's a big goal. How are you going to do that? Have I got the solution for you? You should buy my CRM. That's what most people do. And they're like, well, thank you. You know what? Send us some information. This is very informative. We're gonna consider this and talk about it, and we'll be in touch.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Are you really?
Right. Yeah. So I what I'm hearing you say there is, by the way, I love we're asking questions that they don't know the answers to, and we're letting them see it and come to it as they kind of put it together in their minds, so that they're ultimately, going back to your point, they're coming to a new conclusion based on the new information. So we're helping them through that process, all the while trying to serve them and help them improve their lives, instead of selling pushy, slick, slimy, all those things. Right. And so I think the audience can see how you're changing the mindset. Your sales whisperer work is changing the mindset of the business owner, salesperson, but also then putting a process into place where the prospect is able to discover. We call it discovery, which is so funny in sales, right? We're doing discovery, but it's really us helping them discover through questions.
The answer lies within.
That's right.
When the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Yeah. And then you can start guiding them to what they want and how they can go about getting it through your solution that you have that's going to improve their lives. So I love that. I totally appreciate it that you're helping people to see this. you've talked, I know we've talked before, what's the number one job of a business owner? What's the number one job
Yeah.
of, a marketer? And I'd love for you to just kind of share that mentality, that thinking with the audience, because I think it's spot on.
Yeah, like I'm working with my cousin right now, and he's got a family business. He's second generation, and he's an ops guy, right? Fantastic at ops. And I'm like, cousin, your number one job as the owner is to market your business. And he's like, oh, he's so uncomfortable, right? But it's his business. It's his dad's business. And I'm like, dude, it's in your blood, like literally. Like nobody can tell your story like you can.
Right.
Now we can help craft it. And my other cousin, his sister, is in marketing, web design, very good. I'm like, she can execute, she can format it properly for all the channels, but it's your message,
Yeah.
So I tell people that, and they're like, what? Because look, that's a Dan Kennedy idea, right? I found you in Infusionsoft because of Dan Kennedy,
right.
The 4-city tour back in 2008. I went to meet him. I didn't know Infusionsoft. Who the hell are these guys? I got my picture with Dan Kennedy, the Anaheim Convention Center. So, market your business. So, and a sales manager, their number one job is to recruit. The same thing. So I'm telling my cousin, because he's wearing all these hats, right? Your multiple hat. I remember, right? That's like 08, 09, 2010, somewhere in there. The guy
all the hats. All the hats we wear.
And it's so true, right? So he's wearing multiple hats because people are like, what? Recruit? And I'm like, I love college sports, right? I love college football. And, so look, and this works in the pros as well, but especially at the college level, as soon, like Nick Saban wins all these national championships, and I would bet $1 to a donut, right? They're holding up that silver, that crystal football, and there's somebody on his staff FaceTiming some 5-star recruit somewhere and saying, look, you see this? You see this?
Yep.
This could be you next year.
Recruiting,
right now, because look, he knows, like, he just retired, right? But they know that the best talent in the nation is probably only going to be with them for 3 years, right, at most. And so it's too lucrative, right? So they know there's going to be turnover. You should know in your business, regardless, and what precipitated my cousin working with me is his top sales guy, and I think he only has one, really. He may have two, but I think he has one. Gave his notice, so he's leaving. So now we're going to figure out some processes to make things simpler. So more reliable, more predictable. So, like, you got to recruit. You're always going to lose people. Your best people are going to leave at the worst time. It just is. Okay, so have a process in place to be interviewing, seeing what's going on out there. And a salesperson's job is to prospect, which I already said, because I can't force you to buy from me.
Yeah.
All I can do is force myself to not party Monday, Sunday through Thursday. Okay. And you're probably better off not party even on the weekends, but because everything's interconnected. If I go partying, hitting the clubs Sunday night, Monday, ladies' night, Thursday, okay, now I'm sluggish coming in. Maybe I sleep in, I oversleep, or even I'm in time, but I'm not my best.
Right.
Now I'm making 20 calls instead of 25, and I'm halfway paying attention to the ones that I do. I mean, that compounds over time.
Right. Of
So
course.
Eat right, take care of yourself, show up a little bit early. I can make myself be disciplined and do the work, because sales, just like weight loss, right? The sale is a lagging indicator.
Yeah.
Right? So I want to lose 30 pounds before my college reunion. Okay, I plot my calories. Then every day, every meal, do I have sparkling water, with no calories, or do I have a Coke? Well, I can have a Coke, but now I got to go walk an extra, 2 miles to burn those calories off. So it's a lagging indicator of, did I do the work up to those 30 days? Did I make the calls? Did I send the emails? Did I do the demos? So that's all I can control. So I've got to prospect. I've got to be diligent in doing the work, and then I have to be diligent in doing the right work.
Right.
I've got to say the right things to the right people at the right time. One of my programs, I call it, is the Make Every Sale course. And it's not people, you can make every sale. the point is, to make any sale, you must make every sale. And in any encounter, there's 5, 10, or 50 little sales that they say yes to. Do they see the ad? Do they click the ad? Do they watch the video? Do they opt in? Do they open the email? Do they register for a demo? Do they show up for the demo? Do they bring the boss for the demo? All of those are a sale.
Right.
So to make any sale, you must make every single little teeny tiny sale along the way. Yeah. And they all matter.
Yeah, I love that. To make any sale, you got to make every sale, all those little steps along the way. And I appreciate your point about discipline. It goes right along with the whole premise of Conquer the Chaos is you've got the personal keys and the business keys, and they go together. They work together. You can't neglect the personal keys and expect your business is going to be phenomenal. It's going to flame out at some point. You have to do those. You have to do the discipline around the personal keys. So we've got, in just the last couple of minutes, I'd love for you to, I've heard you talk before about a sales dog. What is that? Why should we all want to be a sales dog? And then, I'll have you let you share where people can learn more about you. But why don't you take just a second and tell us about that?
So, well, I got it because I'm an efficiency freak. I hate doing anything twice if I can do it once, and I hate doing it at all if I can automate it.
Yes.
Right? But I ran across this on accident. So when a roller coaster starts and it's getting pulled up the big hill, and you hear the clink, 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 clink.
Yep.
That clank is a chain dog. So there's teeth going up the hill, right? And so there's a metal bar. So as it goes up one of the little gears, the bar drops.
Click,
so if the chain breaks, boom, it's like a parking brake. That metal bar just jams, and you're like an ice pick, like climbing up a mountain, like boom, lock it in.
Yeah.
So it's a chain dog. So it keeps it from falling backwards.
Got it.
So I'm like, okay, we need to be sales dogs, right? I don't. Cause you always see, oh, hey, Clate, thanks for coming in. Did you make all the buying decisions? What are you going to say? Well, I wear pants in my family. I make all, and now I give you this great presentation. You go, let me run this by my wife. You said, so like, there's only so many objections we'll ever get, right? Budget, who's on the team, timing, compatibility, interoperability, whatever. So there's only a handful in any business.
Yeah.
And so I want to take away the objections before they come up. Okay. And so, and I don't want to repeat them, rehash them. We're on the 1 yard line, and now all of a sudden, motion, penalty, personal foul, intentional grounding. Next thing I know, it's 4th and goal, and I'm on the 50-yard line. Like, what happened?
Right.
And so I want to.
You didn't have the dogs in place.
I got to get the dogs in place, And so, so here's where the art comes in, right? Because if I just say, Clay, do you have authority to make this purchase? Like, I'm challenging you, and like in the moment, like our pride gets us. Yeah, sure, yeah. And then we don't even hear that answer, right? It's like we hear what we want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't really say yeah. You just yeah. So hey Clate, when you're considering a new software, when you're considering a new CRM for your company, when you're evaluating new vendors to come in, this is one of the few times I make an assumption, because assumptions usually kill you, right? But I say, who on your team, Clate? So I assume you have a team, even if you're an individual. Who on your team do you bounce ideas off of? Like, do you have a hardware team, a software team, like a board of advisors? Like, who do you kick things around? You're going to give me one of a few answers. I wish I had a team. Man, I used to have a team. I got robbed blind, and so I'm starting over. Okay. Now I know the truth. Or it's like, well, depending, up to $50,000, I have the authority, blah, blah. If it's over that, then I run it through the board of directors. And, okay, is that like a regular meeting? We meet the 3rd Thursday of the month. Okay, so now I'm getting the picture here. Okay, so this is under $50,000. So, okay, so now I know. And so I'm before things get anxious, I'm asking these little questions in the right way, So now I know what to expect. So now when I'm going back to my boss, well, how's that deal? I said, look, it went great. It's over 50K. He's got to give to the board. They only meet on the third Thursday of the month. So this ain't happening before then, boss. So get off my back. Mm-hmm. Okay. But if you tell me you have the authority, then you can't tell me later, okay, well, let me run this by. I'm like, what happened?
Yeah.
At 3:33, I asked you this because I got the recording, and you had said if it's under 50, you have the authority. Did something change? Did I misunderstand something?
Right. So that's the way you a sales dog is someone that preempts the objections through a series of questions, and you kind of know the number of the objections you commonly have, and so you get those sorted out before there's pressure, and that way you end up not having that deal that ghosts you, or that prospect who seemed like everything was great and all of a sudden it fell apart. Well, it's because you hadn't done the sales dog work to preempt the objections.
Yes.
Got it. Love it. Well, there's so much we could learn from you as the Sales Whisperer. I know you do a lot of different things. Maybe just share where people can learn more about what you do if they want to dig in deeper to your wisdom, and then we'll wrap it up.
I'm easy to find, but you have to spell whisperer, right? So it's the Sales Whisperer, and I'm quite visible there. I'm online, and it's my stuff, right? If you hear from me on social media, it's me. It's not a
you.
VA.
Yeah.
But yeah, thesaleswhisperer.com, and subscribe to my newsletter, see what I'm all about, ask some questions. For a free 15-minute call, chat, and I've got group coaching, private coaching, software consulting, software sales. So, and you know me, right? We worked together since 2008. I mean, no complaints.
Nope, I can vouch.
I never pressured anyone. You probably don't even know this, but I told more people no than yes to buying infusions, especially back in the day. They weren't ready, right? I'm like, go get Constant Contact. Go get 100 names. Go write an email, one email a week for 6 weeks, not even 6 months, and then come back to me. They weren't ready.
And then you realize, that's right.
I'm like, I'm not going to push you. Well, I saw Tony Robbins use it. Like, you ain't Tony Robbins. So it's like, I
love it. No, I can attest. You do great work, and we've had you work with our team on different occasions. I've seen you do it with a lot of people, and your Sales Whisperer moniker is well earned. So, Wes, thanks for being with us today on the Conquer the Chaos podcast. This has been a fun episode, fun to catch up with you on a bunch of different things. And, I think a couple of things I'd take away is the way that you have helped people see that selling really is serving. You're really making people's lives better, and you're helping them come to a different conclusion based on information as you ask questions that they can't answer.
Right.
And that's a really great way to break down the trust, get on the same side of the table, help people see how their lives can improve with whatever the solution is you offer. So hopefully you in the listeners, you hear this and you recognize how you can apply this to your message, to your work, so that you can have a greater impact and be able to serve more people. And if you want some help on getting the right words and getting the message crafted in the sales process, and really honing the skills and the art and the profession of sales, there's nobody better than Wes. He's awesome. So, Wes, thanks so much for being here. Appreciate you, man.
Hey, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
And thank you all for being here for this episode of the Conquer the Chaos podcast. Until next time, get out there and keep killing it, keep serving your customers, and do it by selling, because selling is serving. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks so much for listening. Subscribe right here on YouTube or in your favorite podcast app to make sure that you don't miss a single episode of the Conquer the Chaos podcast. And hey, if you like this episode, let's get this out to more entrepreneurs. We all know that it is not easy to grow a great business and a great life. And so let's get this message out to others. Make sure that you hit the like button, that you comment, and that you share it with others so that we can help other entrepreneurs build a great business and a great life as they conquer the chaos. Keep going, keep serving, and keep growing.